Welcome, Spartan-II Podcast Evolved, your favorite Halo podcast. Today is Friday, July 25th. I'm your host, Drew, and joining to me today, as always, are Krysta.
I'm feeling a little bit of deja vu.
David.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
And we have another, once again, busy week behind us and lots to talk about, including Halo news from San Diego Comic-Con, some Halo history, and a quick stop by the Armory. We're also doing July's Halo Book Club and another new segment called Rampant Speculation. So every month we have an assignment of a story, which is it's the Halo Book Club that we do at the end of every month. And this month we had Halo Bloodline. It's a Marvel comic assigned to us. And I want you guys to talk about it because I did not find time to read all of it. I got started into it after we assigned it at the beginning of the month, and then I haven't been able to go back to it. So, and I would pull it up and look at it right now, but
Okay.
I'm gonna
How
pretend.
far did you get, Drew?
I'm gonna pretend like it's not actually in front of me, and I'm gonna pretend like it's on its way to Perry, Indiana, to Josh Bell, its new owner. So I want you guys to tell me about it, so that people like Bill here, who are totally new to Halo in general, can learn about it. I got about halfway. I got like to when it gets interesting, because it starts off with a whole lot of like, what's going on, and then once things start changing, you're like,
It gets
oh,
kind of
shit.
trippy at the end.
Yeah. So, David, why don't you set it up for us? What is it? What's the story of Halo
Cool.
Bloodline?
Halo Bloodlines. It's got blood and lines in it.
Wow.
It's not
Halo.
plural. I don't know how you keep doing that.
Lines? It's like blurred lines.
I'm gonna
There's
send
like
it
a song
to-
in the middle of it.
So apparently it's Perry, Iowa. I'm gonna send that book to Perry, Indiana, anyways. Yeah, you should still get it. Don't worry about it.
It'll get there.
It'll eventually come to you.
Just have his gamer tag written on the front of it. They'll find it. It'll be fine.
Because that always works.
Yeah, I'm gonna send
That's
this
how that works.
Atrocitus Rage. Just it'll get to you. Don't worry about it. Sorry. So please continue. It's got blood and
Yeah.
lines
Who's
in
going to
it.
hand deliver it?
Tell me more.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this Halo Bloodline here.
Okay, it's my first comic that I've read. First Halo comic, anyway.
Oh, that's
Mine-
right. Oh, really?
It is. Yeah. No, I've never read any of the comics,
All
the
of
Halo
you?
comics before.
Yep, either have I. This is
Metal
my first
Gear?
one.
Metal
Okay.
Gear.
All right. So, what do you think?
The loose story, I liked it. I mean, didn't blow me away.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. My major gripe with it is that I found Black Team, the 4 Spartans, to be so over the top. I didn't like the characters. I didn't like any of the individual Spartans. Do you know what I mean?
Too
I
comic
have,
booky.
yeah. I mean, I have in my own brain probably built up just from the Fall of Reach and just from all the Halo games of what a Spartan-II is and how they are and how
Yeah.
well disciplined. And do you know what I mean? And what we have here is essentially, I'm just going to say, teenagers. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
They're just.
I felt
It
this-
is a little bit. They're just a little bit immature. Do you know what I mean? They've a lot of kind of back talk with each other and all this kind of stuff. And there's a whole backstory involved in like a romance going on, like in the history of the
And
characters.
just saying,
which is
romances
actually,
between Spartans did not happen. I did not like that.
Yeah, I mean they always said that they'd reduce the sex drive. One of the
Yeah,
drugs that they gave, one of the
didn't have
upgrades.
sex drive. It was taken away from them.
Yeah, but this could have been before that. I think it was one of the injections or something they gave him.
So
Got rid of that.
But
That
then why
could
would
have
they
been one of the
develop
stages.
it?
Well, hold on. Listen, I've actually heard that there's a caveat to that in the story, in the lore, that
Yeah.
they were given injections to reduce or eliminate their sex drive, but it didn't always take.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
I'm
entire
okay with that.
Spartan Black team didn't work on any of them.
Well, I mean, that's a good point because one thing that I've always liked about the Halo lore is they've always put a nice asterisk after everything. So Spartans never die, sort of, technically, kind
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
not really. Or
They don't write
Spartans-
themselves into a corner. Like, they always leave it open.
Yeah, Spartan-IIs are like the biggest, bestest thing ever. Well, except for all these ones that the
No one knows about.
stuff didn't stuff screwed them up, or the stuff didn't take, or something didn't work, or something happened and they went crazy or whatever. I mean, if you read, so we'll probably do another short story from Evolution soon, and one of them is about a Spartan who who is
Oh,
mutated.
that one's really good.
So, I mean, like, there's all kinds of things that came out of the Spartan situation. I think Master Chief is the equivalent of, like, the perfection, like the perfect setup of the Spartan-IIs, but everyone rippling out around him have flaws here and there. So
Yeah. Then that's my major kind of gripe is that like I have this perfect Spartan in my head, and then when you show me a Spartan that's flawed, I'm like, oh my god.
yeah, it freaks
He's
you out,
not a
right?
Spartan.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It took me out. It just put me on edge. But
Like,
I guess
so
the only
think about
kind of
the Spartan-II in. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but think
you're
about
good.
the Spartan-II in what's it called? The escort mission or something like that in the anime. There's this Spartan-II that are with these ODSTs, and spoilers,
Yes.
she dies.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
In
sure
the
she
does
dies.
die. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
She
a
did.
girl. And so, like, the whole time, these ODSTs are like, "Oh, this fucking, she's he's a robot," and blah blah blah. And then they find out not only is she a girl, but then she dies. So, like, Spartans are fallible, they are people, but the myth around them is supposed to be that they're just like this cybernetic war machine that has no feelings and just always does perfect things. So even though
I know it's just
annoying,
a perception that they put out there.
and it's good. That's good. It's good that you buy
Yeah.
into the perception because it kind of lends credence to the fact that is the myth around them, as as the rest of the world sees them. And so when you do learn about them as a reader and as a person who has assumptions about Spartans, you learn, oh man, these Spartans are like fucking maladjusted, and because I mean, you also learn in the anime like some of the kids were actually constantly trying to break out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what I did, the flip side of my what I didn't like about it is also that like it does a great job of showing that the Spartans are just other humans, just other soldiers. That they have the same shit going on as any other group of squad of units could have, like,
Well, except for
Yeah,
the fact
they
that they
also
all
had
grew
these
up
really
together.
cool scenes where they would be standing in a
that
certain
happens too.
position, and then it would flash back, and they'd be standing in the same position without their armor on.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it showed
it's
them as
reminding,
kids. Yeah,
it's
that-
reminding you, like, hey, these are people, and yeah, they're kids that grew up together.
Also, the numbers on their visors was awesome.
Yeah, that was a
I thought
great
was kinda
idea.
Cool. Yeah, I thought that was a lot more subtle than the like big white paint 117 on the front of Master Chief. I hate that. Every time I see that, I'm like, that's so
Oh, yeah?
gaudy, and it's not actually there. Stop putting
No.
that in things.
Yeah.
Let's not make that canon. There is no giant painted 117 on the front of Master Chief. When you see Master Chief, you're supposed to just know it's freaking Master Chief.
Yeah.
How many green soldiers do you see walking around?
Yeah. So, all right. So, tell us more about story. I'm sorry we went off on that huge tirade about those characters, but
No, that's
tell
cool.
us about
I brought
story.
it up myself. It's my fault. I was
Yeah.
too busy giving
Okay,
it
that's
up.
your fault. Never do it
okay.
again.
Yeah, okay, sorry. It kicks off with pretty much these black squad, the Team Black, Spartan Black team are being transported. It just says, gives you a vague general, being transported to the front lines. There's no real kind of mission description
They're
being
supposed
given.
to take down a Covenant ship and steal it, right?
Is that what they're doing?
Did you not read the little logs before each chapter?
Not in the edition that I have. There isn't one
okay.
in
I got the
between.
digital
It's one
edition,
bulk.
so every chapter
Oh, okay.
started with like one of those log readouts by the AI.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that isn't in my edition. I just literally have.
So all right. So the first page before the actual cover image is Operation Blowback, right? Is that what you're talking about? So
Yeah.
Spartan-II
Nope.
team designate Black shall deploy in a civilian prospecting vessel with a plainclothes Oni crew. They shall allow themselves to be captured by and or forcibly board in any Covenant vessels encountered in subsector 35. Secure all priority intelligence assets and then destroy said vessels. So upon capture, an auto-executing viral scavenger countdown of 15 minutes will engage a shipboard. Will be engaged by shipboard AI to maintain cold protocol in case of total mission failure. So yeah, it looks like they're supposed to like allow themselves to be captured so that they can board and destroy Covenant said vessels.
Okay,
Yes.
I actually missed that. Yeah, it
No
is
worries,
actually
no
there.
worries, man.
It's there. There's nothing in the space between the comics. That is actually the very first page, though.
It's all
is
good.
that synopsis. Okay, so that's the premise of the start.
So they got to do that.
The
Yeah.
comic.
So then what happens?
Yeah. So then they find some kind of anomaly on planet, but they kind of choose to ignore it. And at the same time, at a different period in space, that there's a Covenant cruiser, and it picks up the same signal, and they also choose to ignore it. So both the Covenant and the human ships enter slip space and immediately have problems, and they both end up being crashed on this planet together. And then it just kind of, the story just unfolds of what happens next, what they find.
Okay.
And what it is that
So
the
hold
ships
on,
are being lured there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So the ships are being lured there, but who else do they encounter? So that's the other main part.
Yes.
When they get there, they encounter 2 elites, right?
Those are the elites from the cruiser.
Those are elites from the cruiser. There's different survivors. So like they take heavy casualties. Pretty much the 4 Spartans are the only ones that remain on the human side. And then I think there's a hunter, a grunt, and 2 elites that survive the crash.
2 hunters.
On the Covenants. Is there 2 hunters?
2 hunters.
Oh, there's
One
always...
gets one gets killed, and then the other one is.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. And the other one is captured. So pretty much on the planet, they encountered each other and have a brief firefight before the third party comes along, which is a monitor. And it's a monitor of a specific installation, which is more or less a lab, pretty much being set up to research flood, what's the word?
Immunity.
Immunity, that's the one.
Trying to find species that are immune to the flood infection.
Flood. Yeah, and then he pretty much captures different specimens. So he captures one of the Spartans, one of the hunters, one of the grunts, and one of the elites, and then takes it away. And then it pretty much forces the remainder of everyone left behind to work together. And the way the kind of comic phrases it is that this is pretty much unheard of, that it hasn't happened since, or hasn't happened before. There's been no cases where the Covenant had where a third party was introduced.
They could be court-martialed if it was found out.
I mean, one of the Spartans, I can't remember which one, pretty much goes mad. I think it was for suggesting it. Was it 3? 3 pulls a gun. I'm going to flick to the page now. It actually says it.
3 pulls a gun on 4, doesn't he?
3 pulls a gun on 4 and pretty much says,
I read this.
Fraternizing with the enemy is a military crime punishable by court-martial and execution. And then they have to talk each other down to actually allow him to open the door and let in the Covenant.
There's actually this hostility between 3 and 4 the entire comic.
Yeah, and then we figure out over the period of the comic why that is. It's all backstory. It's all what happened.
They both have a crush on one.
So let's not spoil the entire thing. But but that's good. That's a good comprehensive setup of.
That's pretty much just the premise of the story. I mean, it all unfolds after that. Then,
So this was your guys' first comic, which I think is interesting. Because
first Halo comic.
Yeah, first Halo comic. That's what I'm talking about. First Halo comic. So it's your introduction to Halo as a comic series. Compare that to the anime that we watched, the animated. I mean, it wasn't one of the Halo Legends animes, but we watched an animated version of the short story with Headhunters last month, and I'm curious. How do you like? How did the tones kind of? Obviously, there's very different tone here. How do you like it as a comic?
This felt like a comic of one of the stories from Halo Evolutions.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it felt like. One of the short stories was written out and then turned directly into a comic, which is good because I like.
Which is literally what happened with Headhunters, because it was a short story by Jonathan Goff, and our buddy John, and a fan turned it into
Johnny G,
an animated short. So as a comic, does that work well? Do you guys like it?
Yeah, the art is very pretty. It's very
the panels are very nice.
It's not reading all the speech bubbles isn't confusing. It's easy. It's set up very well. I've read comics that are set up horribly, so.
So, the art is really cool. I think it's interesting that we were just talking about how Master Chief is a Master Chief and no one else should look like Master Chief, except when Master Chief came out and when he was a new character. At the time, there was only one type of Mjolnir armor, there were no like variants in Mjolnir armor. In fact, up until Halo 3, we never saw a variant in Mjolnir armor other than color. So I think it's interesting to see how they address having multiple Spartans with the exact same Mjolnir armor, because these guys all have that Spartan-II Mark, what is it, like Mark 4 or Mark 5 armor?
I think Mark 4, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's Mark
I
5.
would say
'cause it
4.
looks more
It's
like
Halo,
Halo 3.
Halo 3 armor.
So it's Mark,
Oh, is
Mark
it?
5
Okay.
or Mark 6 or something like that. So they're all wearing the same armor, and they're all the same color. They're all wearing black armor. But they have that cool 1, 2, 3, 4. Was it annoying to kind of see the same character running around all over the place? Like, did that bother you visually? Like, do you do you feel like they should have had?
I think the numbers on their visors was the thing that really helped ground each and every one of them, because they'd all look the same
Yeah,
if they didn't have
It's
those
very
numbers.
subtle. It's very slightly done, and I think
Yeah,
that
and
is well done.
I thought
to
it was a
overcome
cool
the
nod
problem of
for the reader.
all in one color. Yeah, I mean it was a little bit because when I read through it, I found it's my own kind of problem. Like I would read a little bit too quickly, and even in comics, I have to go back and I'd read the page over again, because I would literally I would just go for the text, you know. So I did have to go back and go, wait, who's speaking?
Yeah,
and
who
I had to
said
go
that?
back a panel or two and
Right.
try and find his helmet and try and find, okay, what number is he? Who is he? Is he? Is she? Oh fuck, I don't know who's going out with who. And so I did find it confusing. In that kind of way, because they are identical, other than a slight bit of art and they're on the front of the armor.
So, do you remember any of? So they're just 1, 2, 3, and 4, but do they have names?
I don't remember their names at all. They don't.
They're not. I don't think it's specified in the comic. I think
So,
they're just.
do you remember
Spartan.
any of their characters, any of their personalities?
Well, one is the leader, and she's a chick, and she's the one that
Why?
the two boys, 3 and 4, are fighting over.
Okay.
And then 2 is the other chick, and she's kind of just there, and that doesn't do much the whole time.
All right.
Yeah, she doesn't do anything really.
So, what about the two Covenant, the 2 arbiters, or the 2
The
elites?
2 arbiters.
2 arbiters.
Yes, the 2
They're-
arbiters.
I found them far more interesting.
You have Ref, and you have... What's the other one's name?
The Shipmaster, is it? I don't know. Did they give him a name?
Yeah, let me look. Let's see. Where did they say it? Because the red one is the one who got captured. The yellow one is the
Yes.
ships. The shipmaster did not. And they're both brothers.
I'm looking. I see the word Destiny bolded, so there we go. Destiny confirmed.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah, I don't know, but do you remember much about
Thon,
their character?
brother Thon. Thon.
Okay.
Thon and Ref.
So Thon and Ref, do you remember anything about those 2 characters?
They're brothers, and the red one, who is Ref, was very weak. And the shipmaster defended him through childhood, or else he would have been murdered,
Okay.
as is Singheli way.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Their kind of backstory, that like the elite, because it's a bit of kind of a something you haven't really seen before, like how the society works on the elite homeworld. Do you know what I mean? Like growing
Oh.
up, it's very Spartan-esque, where like
Then
the
I think
weak-
I think I've
Only
figured
the
out
strong
I think
survive.
I've figured out our
Yeah.
assignment for the next month. Then if that's
yeah?
what you want to learn about, yeah.
Well, I did find it quite well. I just as a kind of a juxtaposition that I found, let's say the Spartans very juvenile, and then I found the elites far more interesting, more kind of adult, because their kind of story a little bit more interesting. That like one is very religiously devout, and like the other one
Very
is more, say, let's say,
religiously devout.
yeah, more like
Towards
altruistic,
the
more
end, he kinda
military
goes
minded.
crazy.
He does, yeah. He loses his shit when he finds the Forerunner, which is kind of interesting because that's another thing as well. They pretty much say this is the first contact with Forerunner technology by humans, because Iona, the AI, pretty much says this is the first kind of structure we've never seen before. This is totally unique, totally new, and she's an Oni class AI, which pretty much means you'd expect her to know shit like that. That if they'd seen it before, she'd know it.
Yeah.
What do you think about
takes
that?
Place. I'm looking at for dates now. This takes place. Ooh, there's no date. What the hell?
Really?
Um,
I only see locations. I don't see dates.
Oh no. We'll have to
Er-
look at that big spreadsheet.
Erner.
Yeah. There's normally dates with those kind of transmissions, aren't they normally dated?
Yeah,
when
but
they
I
do
don't
log
see
files and
anything.
stuff. Yeah, me neither. Serial numbers,
It was a
service
cop
numbers.
out.
I know, right?
God damn it.
I hate it when they do this.
Um,
Why you do this?
well, we can assume if it's a Spartan-II deployment, and you can say that it's going to be. I'm going to go.
I'm gonna say
Pre-Halo
it's
CE.
pre-Halo. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pre-Halo. Does everybody make
So
it
I'm-
out alive?
yeah.
Don't spoil it, but let me look and see. People leave this planet, right?
Yes.
People leave this planet.
Well, no, it's not how it ends. It ends on kind of a
Cliffhanger.
positive note, but like you're left to assume the obvious choice of what happens. Like
Oh.
it's not negative. Do you know what I
got
mean?
it,
It's
Got it.
even if you look at the last panel, you can go, yeah, you know what happens. Like
Oh, I see. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So people leave this planet, but there's a reason why. Yeah. So I would say this is pre-Halo CE.
Yeah, and I also just thought as well. I'm pretty sure that like there's a radio transmission in Halo CE where Cortana first learns the word Forerunner,
Mhm.
and she's actually talking about it. So I'm assuming that this takes place before that.
Well, yeah. Like nobody had heard
Yeah.
of Forerunner before.
So I
Halo
thought that
CE.
was kind of interesting that like they have to thwart the common enemy. This has never happened before,
Interesting.
and it's the Forerunners.
And so, I think we'll talk about what we're gonna do this next Halo book club. I'm gonna do a little bit of a change where we're gonna have multiple stories. So we're not gonna
what?
do all of Halo Legends, but we're going to do a chunk of Halo Legends. So
Okay.
I'm going to sign three videos, and Bill, you got to get Halo Legends on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever to participate in this.
YouTube.
And I think we'll have Bill on next month when we do our thing because I want to hear his thoughts on this. We're educating our friend Bill about Halo because he's new to the whole Halo franchise, and
You're gonna love it, Bill.
yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the origin story from Halo Legends that starts the Halo Legends Blu-ray DVD thing. So this is
That
the
was
first,
fantastic.
It's the first two videos. So this is like an Origins Part 1 and Origins Part 2. And then the other video we're going to do is the Sangheili story,
Oh yeah.
the watercolor. It's like a watercolor animation. It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It's really hard to see.
Good choice, Drew.
So you got to get those three. Yeah, I'll get you a link to it. I'll put the link out and everything. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I'll put a link out to for you to be able to download this or rent it or whatever.
I'm pretty sure they have it on Halo Waypoint though, don't they?
So all of Halo Legends is actually on YouTube.
Yeah.
I believe because I was watching it. So I think I'll link out to YouTube if I can find the playlist. If not, I can also link it so that you can download it. It's $3 on Google Play. So I mean,
It's really good. There's only one shit cartoon in
it's
the whole
not.
thing.
It
The
just
rest of
depends.
it's-
It depends
is
on your
shit.
taste. It's kind of funny. It's super dumb.
Nobody liked it. It
It's
shouldn't be
so
funny.
dumb. Yeah.
Spartans should never be dumb.
I know.
Oh no, there's all sorts of things.
That's
wrong
actually
with it.
considered non-canon. Like that's the one thing
Yeah.
in that video that's non-canon. So we'll not listen to everything, or we'll not watch everything. We're gonna just watch the first two, the origin story of
Which is
the
chock
Halo
full of
universe.
good information.
Yeah, you learned like when that first came out, you learned a lot. And then we'll do the Halo thing, the Sangheili one, so you can learn about the Elite's homeworlds, Sanghelios, and a bunch of other stuff. So it's gonna be sweet. So let's talk about rampant speculation real quick, and then we'll wrap up.
Before we do that, I looked up the approximate time of Halo Bloodlines is August 2552.
Okay, so Halo Combat Evolved takes place in like September or November or something like that.
Yeah,
of the
so it's
same
about
year.
it's about an hour. I mean, a month
It's about
before.
an hour before Halo.
An hour beforehand.
It's an hour before Halo event.
Yeah.
It's a month or two before Halo CE.
So
That's cool.
So why don't we talk about our rampant speculation is going to be our new segment that we're going to do. So I've been learning about how we're going to do this show moving forward. We tried to include the armory, memory lane, and all that stuff in every episode, and I don't think we're going to do that. We're starting to build enough segments, and we're starting to have enough to talk about generally, that we don't need to throw like so many segments in. Like today, you know, we had the armory, but it wasn't like a full blown conversation, which is why we had the Sentinel beam. We actually used the Sentinel beam because the Sentinel beam is a weapon in Halo Bloodline. So if you
it's a really good weapon in Halo Bloodline, which is crazy.
I hate that. I hate like when you read a book and he's like, he shot the guy once and he died, and I'm like, well, that wouldn't happen in the video game.
Yeah.
So, but anyways. I think we're going to start just kind of randomly picking segments as long as they apply to an overall theme, or if there is no overall theme, if somebody just wants to do it or whatever. But we're also going to continue the community guest spot. So next week we're going to have a community guest on Vanguard Updates who's in the Destiny community. And we'll talk to him about, you know, Destiny, the good Halo game. And he's also a big part of our Facebook group. He's usually at every game night.
Brad?
That's Brad. Yeah.
It is.
Oh wow.
That's Brad.
Right. I didn't know he did all the Destiny Vanguard stuff.
Alone.
Sorry.
Yeah. At Vanguard Updates is his Twitter actually. So that's kind of how he's in the Destiny universe community, so to speak. So I think that's going to wrap the show. So I want to remind everybody listening, we're on iTunes. Please subscribe. Please review us. If you give us reviews, we'll read your reviews on the show. If you miss us on Twitch, you can always check out this video on YouTube. So youtube.com/Halo Book Club. I know none of this matches, but I'm sorry. And then you can join our Facebook group. Like I said before, go to facebook.com/groups/DrewCipherHalo, or you can just like our page, facebook.com/podcastevolved, and that'll give you the information. If you want to go get links to everything that we have, go to our Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/podcast_evolved. So follow us there, and you'll never miss a show. We're about to wrap up and go play Destiny. We're going to play the Destiny beta for our weekly game night tonight, but normally we play a different Halo game every week. So next week we'll get back to schedule with Halo 4, and I think that is about it. So anything you guys want to throw out there?
Hello. Nope. Just I can put a link to all the YouTube videos for Halo Legends if you want me to set that up. I can do that.
You can throw that in the you can throw that in the Facebook group.
Okay.
And then I'll grab
we're doing Origins Part 1, Part 2, and then which other one are we doing?
The Elite one. It's like watercolor. The watercolor one. The watercolor Elite.
I don't know what it's called.
The Arbiter one, right?
Yes.
The Arbiter one.
The Arbiter one. Yep.
All right, I'll put those 3 in the group so everyone can watch them. They're really, really good.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Those are probably the 3 best, other than the package.
Yeah, and even the package, I think, there's some dumb things going on in the package. So, yeah those are pretty good. Okay, cool. So, thanks, everybody. We appreciate your time, and everybody listening live, we appreciate your patience. And I think that is going to be it for the show.
Oh, we got to say our gamer tags.
Oh, all right. So if you want to play video games with us, it is DrewCipher space CCG. David, you can do yours. Go for it.
I'm K9 Cerberus, one word, 2 capital C's.
And I am Conan XD, Konan XD.
Cough, cough.
Oh.
Sorry, I was trying to mute when I did that. No, please.
XD. Yep.
Sorry about that. All right, so thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
Yay.
Yay. Evolved.